Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. So we're trying something different today. Let's see if you guys like it. I get a lot of questions from you guys asking me how to take care of your instrument, and it's probably the most important question I get. I also get a lot of questions about this particular guitar right here. A lot of you ask me if this guitar is a classic or a standard, and it's actually neither one of those. So let me show it to you and I will tell you the guitar's story. Okay, so before we get to that, make sure you destroy that like button. You drop me a comment with any questions you may have, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. Now, I'm actually just trying this out, so there's a big chance you might not even see this video. But here goes nothing. Now, this guitar right here is actually a custom shop Gibson Les Paul Standard Access Stubtail. Whew, that's a long name. This was actually made in 2008, and it's an awesome guitar. But what's so special about it? Well, first of all, anything that comes out of the custom shop is supposed to be handmade, and the quality control is actually supposed to be a lot better too than at Gibson USA. That being said, the fact that it's handmade can actually lead to some defects, which actually gives the guitar a lot of personality. So what's so great about this guitar? This guitar is actually weight relieved, but it resonates a lot. It's got a lot of sustain, and that might actually be because of the pickups too. Now, this guitar, like most Les Pauls, has got a mahogany body, mahogany neck, a maple top, and a rosewood fretboard. It's got a 498T for the bridge pickup and a 490R for the neck pickup. And it was actually the first one to start this modern fad. It's got a push-pull knob that's actually a master coil split. And it's got a really thin and fast neck. This is actually the slim taper neck, but the actual magic is in the back. It actually has a belly scarf that no other Gibson Les Paul had before, and a heel-less joint for higher fret access, making this a really comfortable metal guitar. I'm actually going to get ready to restring the guitar and set it up, but I'm not going to make a video on that, because I've already done a time-lapse restringing a Les Paul guitar. But if you guys want me to do a video restringing a guitar, explaining the process step by step, just let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so let me tell you the brief story of why I got this guitar. Back in 2007, I actually got the chance to play at the Gibson truck. In case you guys didn't know, in 2007, Gibson actually set up a truck that would actually drive to most Sam Ashes and Guitar Centers to showcase their product. So you could tell all your customers when the truck was going to be there, and it was basically like a tour bus. And they would get to your parking lot and open the truck up, and you would see all the guitars that were coming up next year, plus a few museum pieces. And they would actually invite some of the salesmen on to play and to try out the guitars firsthand. So luckily, I got invited, and I was playing this Les Paul Custom Silver Burst that, if you've been to my Instagram, I've actually uploaded a few pictures of it, but I fell in love with this Les Paul that I've never seen before. As a metal player, it basically had everything I needed. It had a thin neck, high output pickups, it was really comfortable, a flat radius, and a Floyd Rose. So I asked the Gibson rep, what the hell is this? And he told me that's actually a custom shop Les Paul Access, and it just blew my mind. So I asked the guy, how much is this? I want to buy it. And the guy tells me it's not for sale, not until the tour is over anyway. So I really obsessed over that guitar, and I went online to look for it, but I knew it was going to be an expensive guitar, so I needed to save up some money. So a few years later, I actually saved up the money and I got some taxes back, so I decided to purchase the guitar. So I went on to our inventory system at Sam Ash, and I found one used Les Paul Access. So obviously I bought it. Little did I know that they actually made a stubtail version. I thought that all Les Paul Accesses came with a factory installed Floyd Rose. So for a couple of years I actually had a love-hate relationship with this guitar, because I would play it and love it, but it always felt like I cheated myself out of something better. I've had this guitar for about 10 years now, and I gotta tell you, it is the single guitar I play the most out of every guitar I own. It sounds great, it feels great, and it's definitely a workhorse. I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of belt buckles flash here. But yeah, I love this thing. I am super glad I got it when I did. Over the years, I pimped it out a little bit. All of the plastic was actually cream, so I changed the pickup rings, all of the knobs, and I changed the toggle switch cap. But a few months ago, I actually sold the guitar that was missing it, so I took the one out of this one and I placed it on that and forgot to replace it. So I've been playing without a toggle switch cap for a long time, a couple of months now. Okay, so this is my beautiful Les Paul Access. Let's take a closer look. I really like the exposed coil pickups on this guitar. Something you really have to be on the lookout on Gibsons for, the bridge. If you see screw heads here, then it's probably a fake. Also, this is actually made out of brass. We can actually see the plating wearing out because of the strings. Now this neck is actually kind of flat and wide in comparison to the classic Les Paul necks. But like I said before, here's where the money is. Here's the belly scarf. Really comfortable against your ribs. And this is the heelless joint. you can actually get up here very comfortably. Now this guitar has been played. Since this is the standard model, you actually get the binding in the front and no binding in the back. Another way to check if a Gibson is not a fake, check out the fret crowning. You see how the binding actually goes over the fret? That is very expensive and hard to make. So the Chinese knockoffs don't actually do that. So if the guitar's got binding but the frets aren't crowned, chances are the guitar is fake, unless the frets have been replaced. We have vintage Kluson tuners, which have actually been around forever. And this nut has actually been replaced. Mother of pearl inlays throughout the neck. And look how thin that neck is for a Les Paul. Okay, so like I told you before, I actually bought this guitar thinking that all Les Paul accesses actually came with a factory installed Floyd Rose, and I always regretted the fact that it didn't have one. A couple of years later, I was actually able to rectify that fact. I will show you this guitar in depth on a different video, so stick around. This thing is gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, so I'm gonna go for now so I can restring this guitar and set it up. But before I do that, let me give you some advice. Whenever you need to restring your guitar, make sure you set it up on something that's soft. I got this little carpet rug thingy from Gibson themselves. And it's really good because it doesn't really slide as much. And it protects the finish. Also, make sure you have a neck cradle so that the guitar can fully rest on it and it doesn't move around as much. Now, every time I restring my guitars, which is every 3 months tops, yes, every 3 months. Tops. When I used to play a lot and get free strings, I would change my strings every 2 weeks. But now that I don't play them as much, I change them every 3 months tops. A lot of people will tell you that the strings actually last a long time if you don't play them, but that's not true. Because the moment you first touch the strings, they start to disintegrate. Because your skin oils and acid and the pH gets on the strings. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip the strings off. I don't save them for anything. They're not spare strings. They are old, icky strings. So get rid of them. Then you have to condition your neck. Personally, what I use is the Music Nomad stuff. They're not paying for advertising, but they do endorse me. So I do get a discount on their product. But let me tell you, I reached out to them to get that discount because I love this stuff that much. So yeah, if you get this, you basically get everything. But what you need for the fretboard is the F-oil. You can actually use lemon oil too. Dunlop's got one, Fender, and many other brands. Also, since I got the strings off, I like to polish the frets. I use the Frine polishing kit. You can actually use 4O steel wool. Just be careful not to scratch out the wood on the fretboard. You can tape the edges off, or you can actually use the fret guards that they sell separately. They look a lot like these, but they don't have the handle. And then, of course, while I'm at it, I like to wax the body with Carnauba wax if possible, or at least a really good guitar polish, and I clean it off so that it looks like a glass, so that it's really shiny. Alright guys, off to work. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. You drop me a like if you did. Don't forget to drop me a comment with any questions you may have. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man. Okay guys, I will see you next time. Pat out. Metal on, dudes.